Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our math lesson today. We're going to be discussing multiplication and division. We're continuing our lesson on operations awareness. As you guys know, the past 2 weeks we've been covering addition and subtraction. And so now we're moving on to the other two main operations, which are multiplication and division. And a lot of you are familiar with these. So we're going to be practicing our calculator skills as well as our analytical skills when it comes to word problems next week. So let's dive right in. What is multiplication? Multiplication is repeated addition, okay? That's basically what it is. So when we multiply, we're making more of the same amount of something by a certain number of groups, okay? So the answer to a multiplication problem is called the product. So if I look at this example here, I see 4 times 2. I know that the x is my multiplication symbol. And so I'm trying to figure out, what is 4 times 2? Well, 4 times 2 is actually the same as 4 plus 4, okay? You are adding 4 twice or multiplying it twice. And so I can do pictures or I can plug it into my calculator. Either way, I get the product of 8. And as you can see in this picture, I have 2 groups of 4. And so if I count them all out, I'll still get 8. So we can count together. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 strawberries there. 5, 6, 7, 8 strawberries in total. So when they say 4 times 2, they're saying 2 is the number of groups. 4 is the amount of the item or value that's in the group. So 2 groups of 4 is 8. It's the same as 4 plus 4 if I add 4 twice. Now let's talk about division. Division's a little more complicated. Division is basically repeated subtraction, but it looks a different way. So when we divide, we are separating a quantity or value into equal groups of. Think of it as fair sharing, okay? The answer to a division problem is called the quotient. So let's look at this problem right here. All right, I have 8 gifts that need to be distributed equally or divided equally amongst these 4 gals here. So how do I do that? 8 divided by 4. Well, 8 divided by 4 is the same as 8 minus 4 minus 4, okay? So in the first example, I'm going to separate 8 into 4 equal groups of 2 because I know that if I separate these, right, see that little red line there? It's saying I can give each person 2 gifts and that is equal. So that each person, she gets 2, she gets 2, she gets 2, she gets 2, okay? And then 8 minus 4 minus 4, we know that 4 can be subtracted twice from 8 with no remainder. So this is what you would call a nice even number. That means when I divide it, I don't have any remainders. So 8 divided by 4 is 2, okay? Each person gets 2 gifts. And if I think about it in the subtraction way, 8 minus 4 minus 4, I can subtract the number 4 twice from 8 and get 0 left over. So when we're doing division, I really want you to just focus on the calculator skills and maybe memorizing some fact families when it comes to division. You don't really have to worry about it as repeated subtraction. That's a little tough, okay? So let's just focus on division as making equal groups of. And sometimes that means we have a remainder or a fraction, but each person will still get the same amount of something. Cool? All right, like I just mentioned, we can also memorize fact families for multiplication and division. These fact families don't change, so it's nice that if you memorize it, for example, if you memorize multiplying and dividing by 5, multiplying and dividing by 10, by 2, it really makes things easier. So you're not second guessing yourself, you just know the facts. So a fact family is a set of 4 related multiplication and division facts that use the same 3 numbers. So in this first example, I have 21, 7, and 3. Well, I know that 7 times 3 is 21. 3 times 7 is the same thing, it's 21. And if I take 21 and try to divide it by 3, I get 7. 21 divided by 7 is 3. So just like addition and subtraction are reciprocal operations, they undo each other, so are multiplication and division. They are the opposite. So by doing division, I undo multiplication, and vice versa. By multiplying, I undo division. In the second example, we have these three numbers, 32, 4, and 8. Well, 4 times 8 is 32. 8 times 4 equals 32. And vice versa. 32 divided by 4 is 8. 32 divided by 8 is 4. Okay, and you can verify that by checking and plugging into your calculator. So those are easy ones. It's, again, like I said, helpful to memorize fact families, so I highly encourage you guys to do that. For the last one, we're going to do our own fact families. Don't worry so much about the fact families part. I just want you to practice plugging these into your calculator and using the appropriate sign, okay? The X is for division. The line with a dot on top and on bottom, it's like a colon being separated. We call that division, okay? This is division, multiplication. So 10 times 5 is 50. 5 times 10 is 50. 50 divided by 10 is 5. And 50 divided by 5 is 10. Notice how these all relate to each other. Pretty cool, right? You can memorize a fact family, like I said. We're looking at the next group, focusing more on just the rote operations. And so 9 times 5 is 45. 5 times 9 gives me the same product of 45. Now division's where it's going to switch up a little bit. I don't get the same answer, right? 45 divided by 9 equals a quotient of 5. 45 divided by 5 equals 9. My quotient is 9 in that example. So this week we'll be practicing rote, simple calculations for multiplication and division. And then the following week we'll talk about words that indicate when to multiply, when to divide when I'm solving a word problem. I hope that this was helpful, and I will see you guys in your Zoom sessions. Have a great day.